Good morning, everybody, and welcome back for another amazing episode of Zach's Airstream Adventure. Today on part 2 of the driving lights setup, Tom is going to be here shortly, and we're going to continue setting up the lights and securing any and all wiring connections. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, like I said, Tom is going to be here shortly, but before he gets here, I'm going to go ahead and try and give you guys a little bit of an explanation as to what's going to happen today. So, as you saw in the previous episode, we began diagnosing all of the problems associated with the voltage transfer, and hopefully you have a little bit of an understanding as to what we did in that first episode. But today, we're essentially securing all of the connections. So we know now that we're getting a great transfer of voltage from the car battery to the back of the Airstream where the lights are. So that connection is solid. So now what we're going to do is we're going to solder all those connections, and we're going to shrink wrap or heat wrap the connections to make sure that when I'm driving down the road, nothing's going to vibrate out. And we're just going to make the connections as solid as we can possibly make them. So Tom will be here shortly, and I'll be back for some more updates. All right, everybody, Tom's officially here, and we just finished completely wiring the wires through the wall. So we have a pretty good, sense of security for the wires, I guess you could say. And it runs all the way through the walls to the front connection. So right now we're working to get some, what do we call this?
We're soldering. We're going to flux and solder.
Flux and solder is what we're about to do.
You got to use some paste, magic stuff called flux, or else the solder won't stick. That is solder. You use it soldering old pipes like that. And you also use electrical solder, specifically for electrical connections. And then we use this heat wrap. Come down here, there's a piece of heat wrap. So we take that back over it and we heat it with a heat gun or a match or a lighter, and it'll shrink over it, and that's how you do it. So if you want to set that up, we're going to do one. This will be your first time we've ever soldered, but
Yeah.
All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull the trigger. We've already got it heated up. You're going to hold it right to there.
Oh, okay. So you already have the
I have the solder. I have the flux on
flux
there.
on.
It will not do it without flux. So don't ever waste your time.
Okay.
All right. I want you to pin it right to there.
Should I let it smoke or?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just hold it down for a second. There you go. Okay, should be good.
Cool.
Hold down for a minute. Good. Put that over and we cover that up, and then roast it like a piggy. See how it's shrinking?
Yep.
But it's been in good shape, so. So yeah, so we'll do all those connections at the end. We'll probably keep those wire nutted for now, and then down the road, before you finish it, we can solder those if you want.
Okay.
And then if you ever have to replace something, you just cut it and wire nut it, but at least you know they're solid behind there. But we're not gonna do that today, because we gotta take all those lights out and swap them out.
Right.
But we'll do those.
Okay.
Just, I don't know.
So right now we're cutting the what is this thing called?
Heat wrap,
The
shrink
shrink wrap sections for the front connection here. And you have to make sure to put these over the connection before you solder them, because if you solder them, then you're gonna have to disconnect them to get the shrink wrap on.
Yeah, you can't slice them and wrap them and then reheat them. It doesn't work. I've tried 100 times. And I already connected 2 of them and forgot to put them on. So the reason we do this is wire nuts there's metal on the inside of this plastic, on the inside of that, and over time it will rust if you get any moisture in here at all. They also come disconnected. This is almost a foolproof way to have a long-term wire connection that doesn't go bad. The downside is if you ever have to do them, you have to cut it off and redo it. So the back we're going to keep with wire nuts until we get the new lights. Those are pretty old and crusty, and it's just not even worth trying to save, to be honest with you. for what, about $100 we can replace all of them. So
Yep.
we'll just get it wired up so we know it works, which we've already done. And then at the last minute, we'll swap those out and just take those off and resolder them another day. But for now, we need to get this roadworthy. And we probably an hour or two from now, we'll be able to take it on the road legally. So that's right where they intersect. Yep, just like that. It takes a minute for it to get hot enough.
All right, so we've melted enough solder on there, and we are now going to place the shrink wrap over it. Where's the lighter?
Right here under my hand.
Heat it up, shrink it, and secure that connection.
And then we'll do that for all of these. And then we'll be rocking and rolling.
All right, everybody. We've reached what seems to be the end of this whole light setup. And what are you doing?
Just seeing if that was wired or not.
Okay.
All
All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, so we're about to see if everything
check.
works. Final check, if you will. So you got the car?
Yeah, so this is obviously broken. Here we go. Ready?
Okay. Here we go.
Off turn signal.
Good.
Right turn signal. Light.
Lights. Even on the license plate. Good.
Brake.
Good.
Booyah!
On. So all the lights work. Thanks to Tom. Wouldn't have been possible without him. Let me get a hug.
Big hugs.
Big hugs.
Keep watching the show. It's great. He's working his tail off, guys. Keep watching. Keep doing those views.
All right, everybody. With all that being said, all that being seen, this wraps it up for another amazing episode of Zach's Airstream Adventure. Tappy tappy, everybody. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like. And we'll keep making videos. We'll keep working on the Airstream. Wow, it's amazing stuff. And feel free to share it with your family and friends. I would appreciate it, and I'm sure they would as well. And I'll see you all on the next episode of Zach's Airstream Adventure. Peace.